It's hidden to you. You just got the virus. You don't know why. Only the guy who gave it to you, he knows it. So it's that bad, the companionship, Baha'ullah says, of the people that you cannot handle them. But if you're a doctor, you know this fellow is sick, go ahead, fix him if you think you can make him happy. But if you can't, he's going to do it to you. Another way of saying it, I say that there's an osmosis pressure between people. When they're together, before you know, one goes to the way of the other one. If two people are smokers, one is smoking, one is not smoking, and they're bound to be together. Let's say in a jail, let's say in their house. In the course of time, either the one quits smoking or the other one becoming a smoker. It's just in there. We take from each other, we're like a sponge, you know. So it's bad, too bad for you, because you're going to get a lot of bad things. It's good, you know, if you're parents, your children have bad friends, it just gets in them. Immediately. We pick up from each other's. Therefore, because this is the case, we do have to, you know, associate with people. There's no doubt about it. But have that shield, like antivirus, on your system, which is awareness of the Baha'i faith. Awareness of what Baha'ullah says. You beware of that, you're going anywhere, you're safe. You don't have shield. It's like you don't have an antivirus on your computer and you want to go to all kind of websites. What are you going to get? You get infected. Enough of that. Number 8. It says, quote, at the dawn of every day he should commune with God. Are we communing with God really? Communing with ourselves? Thus commune is really with Baha'ullah, which is the manifestation of God. There's a lot to talk about this. It's not known yet, even to me. What this word that we say in a room to God, what does that mean? One way I've explained it to myself is that, well, why can't I have my own prayer? You know, God, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. Why should I use Baha'ullah's prayer? I've understood the prayers of Baha'ullah is like a website, is an email address. It's like an address to a website. It's an address, an email. If you make a slightest mistake, you can't connect to the website, or you can't send the email. This is why Baha'u'llah is telling us to use his way of saying it. Then we're like almost on the computer, we're not trying to type the address, we're just pasting it. Copy and paste. So we use the Baha'u'llah's language to commune. Then we are communing. There's no doubt. It's going to go. Now, whether we understand, are we getting the email back or not, is one thing. If we have an email account, the email will be sent back to us. If we don't, yeah, we can send the email. He gets it. But can we get the email he's sending back to us? It's a different story. You know, we have to commune with God. He's communing. Can we get it? It's a different story. So, and I can say a couple of words about these meditations. This is one of those things people have all kind of, you know, up and down. They do, and they call it meditations. I think, my own observations, if these things were a way of the Buddhist or Buddha or others in the past that we have to do to meditate, is because every time you're working and your body is doing something, well, you can't think because you're doing something. You can't be thinking and doing. And if meditation is to sit down silently, you know, okay, maybe because you're silent, then you can think. Meditation means to think, nothing else. Any other actions that we do is absolutely physical. It has nothing with any spiritual reflection, anything like that. Those actions, however you want to do it, whichever you want to dress, however mode and motions that you want to apply, has nothing to do with the spiritual effect, I guarantee you. But if you can think by being silent, put your leg as they do. I can't do it anymore. I used to when I was in Iran. That's one of the effective things, of osmosis pressure to be here. I can't do that anymore. You're getting from people. You're sitting down and you can think. Meditation is good if it means thinking. So commune with God. All right. I'm going to go back to some other one. He should, quote, he should show kindness to animals, how much more, and to his fellow man, to him who is endowed with the power of utterance. In the past, when they say power of utterance, it is a word that a spirit in Islam is called, the power of utterance. If you can talk, then you have a soul. That's how they say man has a soul, because it's the power of utterance. In this case, Baha'ullah says man has a soul. A lot of us, we do not show kindness to the animals. Definitely, animal, has pain. There's no doubt when you make him to suffer. But I can go as far as to say that you can't even hurt the earth. You can't even hurt anything. You can't displace things. You can't bother things. You can't ruin things, especially the natural things. When you're, a man has made a bottle and you're just throwing it out in the garbage or bang it back or whatever. Okay, man has made them. But a flower on a tree is not made by us. How do we go and, try to pick it or not to pay attention to it, to something that nature of God has made? It's a serious disrespect. I know we need to them, but the management is very wrong. I've spoken in the environmentalism. What do we have to do about that? But in the West, people do not have this problem with animals. There's more right for animals today than it is for some of the men. It's mostly to the people that it is still observed in the poor countries, in Africa and India. The animals, they suffer a lot, whether they're in circus or whether they're in farm and whatnot. The moment we do something that a being, like an animal, is suffering and you don't see the suffering, right there you are bereft of few mechanisms in your system that you don't see. The same thing to the people. The guy exploits people in the workplace or anywhere that he can. He just does not think that this is a being, this is a human being. He has kids, he has children. He has eyes, his ears, just like you. You might be multi-trillionaire, but still you're no difference from him as far as the appearance. Why can't you see him as a being? He's a human being, All right. I'm going to go to the other one. Quote, he should not hesitate to offer up his life for his beloved, nor allow the censor of the people to turn him away from the truth. I practice that, to be steadfast, to resist. It's very tricky though when you say the word truth. Truth in the Baha'i faith is measured, that it has to be scientific and logical. If it cannot be, it has to coincide with the text of God. If for what you say the text of God supports you, the logic, the science support you. That's the truth. It's a privilege for you to know this. If you see it, give anything for it. That is the meaning of life. Okay, number 11 I said here, quote, "He should not wish for others that which he does not wish for himself." This is the sign of humanity. Every one of us have wishes and desires just for ourselves. Can we say, I wish anything for myself, God first for everyone, then at the end, consider me too? Or you wish something that, like I wish to have a lot of money and people and resources and time, actually, more importantly, to go teach Baha'i faith, which in return is going to be good for all the people. This wishing something that excludes just to you and not for others, immediately you step out of humanity. You become one piece that steps out of the jigsaw puzzle. Say, okay, I'm not a part of the jigsaw puzzle. I'm just a cell for myself today. You don't understand the full picture and the big picture. This is important. Okay. The next counsel of Baha'ullah, His Divine Majesty, nor promise that which he does not fulfill. Oh man, you watch this, what comes out of your mouth in the promise that you give to the people. I used to break a lot of promises as a kid, but later on I developed. It's the worst grievous things. When people promise me, I tell them, please don't promise. Because your promise is based on not just you fulfill it, based on others, based on the road, based on time, based on your health, based on a lot of things. If all of those things gets fulfilled, you will do what you say. This is what you mean. Just don't say I'm going to stand on this no matter what. So Baha'u'llah says, in other words, if you say something, essentially you're oblivious of the fact that you may not be able to do it. Do not promise them. Say I will do. My doing, keeping that promise, conditions upon many things. That I'm alive, I'm healthy, that others that are involved with me previously promised to, I could do those things, time, weather, all of that has to fulfill in order to get it done. Because people count on it and then you can't do it, it's bad. All right. Another one, which we just did it, I'm going to read it anyways. With all his heart should the seeker avoid fellowship with the evildoers and pray for the remission of their sins. I remember the history of the Baha'i faith, the story of Mullah Reza Yazdi, an old individual, a great Baha'i. They were, at the time, before, at the time of Baha'ullah, they were taking him and torturing him with the bastinado, which means essentially they take a stick of wood and they, slap the sole of his foot. They hang him with their foot in the air and they just bang the foot at every intersections. He was seriously an old man. So after the bastinado is done, he would get off, they gave him a few minutes, he would go there and thanks to God, pray. The guy who was torturing him, he says,